Good morning, students. In previous classes, we learned various topics in human reproduction, like male reproductive system and the female reproductive system, and gametogenesis, fertilization, and then embryo development, all the things. Today, we learn lactation and the parturition. Parturition and lactation. Parturition is nothing but the producing or delivering a child or delivering a fetus after pregnancy. A female is deliver a fetus, that is child, is known as parturition. After parturition, the female produce milk, that is female mammary glands produce milk, and the milk, it is useful for the developing child or developing young one. So in this class, in today's class, we learn parturition and lactation. Okay. Normally, what is meant by parturition? Parturition is nothing but the delivery of the particular child. First, normally already you have studied gestation. Gestation means it's nothing but pregnancy. Pregnancy normally in human female, it's still about 9 months. After 9 months, the developed fetus is delivered as a child, and the delivering process is known as parturition. And then after delivery, after parturition, normally mammary glands of the female is producing milk. Then the milk production process is lactation. Okay. During parturition process, what are all the events occur, and during lactation process, what are all the events occurs? In today's class, we will one by one we deal. Then, during parturition process, normally you know the uterus contain 3 layers: endometrium, myometrium, and the perimetrium. In endometrium of the uterus has some blood vessels, and myometrium and the perimetrium. In parturition process, the myometrium of the uterus contract. Myometrium of the uterus contract and expel the child in the outside to the next vagina and to the cervix, and through the vagina and cervix is known as birth canal and is delivered as a child. So the process is known as vigorous contraction of the expulsion. Vigorous contraction is nothing but myometrium of the uterus during the last month, the 9th month of the pregnancy time, gestation time. The myometrium contracts and vigorously contracts, not slowly. In the time of parturition, the myometrium of the uterus vigorously contracts and expel the child. It is not exactly expelling the child. Normally it is called as a delivered, but in this correctly biologically is expel. Expel means is a speed process, reflex action. Okay, that the process is nothing but fetal ejection reflex. Fetus, that is child, and eject the child reflexly. What is meant by reflex? Already studied in 11th standard. Reflex action. What is meant by reflex action? The action which controlled by the spinal cord. The quick and sudden action which controlled by the spinal cord is known as reflex action. Here, during parturition process, the same reflex taking place. The process is fetal ejection reflex. Fetal ejection reflex means nothing but during parturition, the fetus is expelled from the uterus suddenly, quickly. The process is termed as fetal ejection reflex, and it's actually the parturition is not a simple process, it is a complex neuroendocrine mechanism. In this parturition process, neurons are involved, brain is involved, spinal cord is involved, several hormones, endocrine. What is meant by endocrine? The gland which produce hormone, the hormones are directly discharged into the bloodstream. The gland which produce hormones is nothing but is a chemical substance are produced in small quantity in our blood. The hormone is directly discharged into the bloodstream, means that is hormone, and the gland is endocrine gland. Here during parturition, the neuroendocrine mechanism means the hormones are involved in this parturition process, neurons are involved in the parturition process, and muscles are also involved in the parturition process. A complex neuroendocrine mechanism. Parturition is not a simple process, delivery is not a simple process. After pregnancy, after 9 months of gestation time, neuroendocrine mechanism, the neurons and the hormones are involved in the parturition process. Okay, the process is fetal ejection reflex. Okay, what are the hormones are involved in the parturition process? That is oxytocin. Oxytocin, you know, that is produced from the maternal pituitary. What is meant by maternal? Maternal is nothing but the mother. Paternal is nothing but the father. Maternal means mother, paternal means father. Maternal pituitary means mother pituitary. Mother only holding or carrying the child as fetus. Then the pituitary of the mother is your location of pituitary is present in the hypothalamus region of our brain, and the pituitary is producing various hormones. Already you have studied in 11th standard. In this parturition process, pituitary produce oxytocin. Oxytocin hormone is the important hormone for the fetal ejection reflex for delivering the child. For parturition process, the important hormones by the pituitary is oxytocin. Normally hormones is produced in small quantity. Oxytocin also small quantity, or 5 ml, 2 ml, or 1 or 2 ml or 3 ml. So only ml, not liters. Normally enzymes are produced in liters and more, but in hormones are produced in less. So during parturition process, oxytocin hormones is released from the maternal pituitary in the blood. Through the blood, the hormones travel through the blood circulation is enter into the uterus. Then it contract the uterus and parturition taking place. So pituitary hormone are produced in the pituitary. Oxytocin through the blood only, it's travel through the blood circulatory system and reach the uterus, and it contract the uterus myometrium, and during this contraction, due to this contraction, the child is delivered. The process is fetal ejection reflex. So the oxytocin normally which induces the normal delivery of the child. So normally some females has some problem, because some female oxytocin is not produced in correct quantity. So the doctors injecting the artificially oxytocin hormone during a normal delivery. Doctors injecting the oxytocin hormone, and due to this oxytocin hormone, and the myometrium of the uterus is contract, and the normal delivery, that is the parturition taking place. For artificially, naturally oxytocin are produced in the pituitary, but in some times it is not produced naturally. In the particular time, doctors injecting the oxytocin artificially, and which the delivery and the parturition takes place. The next one, after parturition process, the child is delivered. Now this is known as child. Okay, infant, technically infant. Inside the uterus, that is fetus, and before is the embryo, zygote, all the things, an egg, ovum, and after the child, the delivery, the fetus is known as infant. An umbilical cord is present. The doctor is removing the umbilical cord and placental tissues, and now the child is able to breathe by their own, and all the process starts. After parturition process, mammary glands start producing the milk. The end of the pregnancy is mammary gland starts producing the milk. In before puberty and after puberty or during pregnancy time also, this is the mammary gland is not producing the milk. Only after parturition process, only the mammary gland starts producing the milk. The milk is nothing but the process of producing milk from the mammary gland is known as lactation. The milk initial few days, normally after parturition, initially 5 to 10 days, the milk produced. The milk is nothing but colostrum. The initial milk from the mammary gland after the parturition is known as colostrum. The colostrum is nothing but is yellowish in color. It is very important. It contains very important nutrients, very important antibodies, and several antibodies, several nutrients for the development, and gives immune power to the developing child. What is antibody? Was studied in health and disease lesson. Antigen is nothing but the protein, the chemical substance are produced by the microbes. Suppose one bacterium, Mycobacterium tuberculosis, are causing TB. The bacterium is enter into our body. The bacterium produce antigen, a particular protein. Against the antigen, our immune system is WBC, primary, secondary, lymphadenal organs you have studied, and our immune system produce some chemicals, some proteins. The proteins is nothing but antibodies. Various antibodies are present like IgA, IgB, various. Ig means immunoglobulin. So various antibodies are produced in our immune system. Then mammary glands milk, the initial milk from the mammary glands after the parturition process is known as colostrum. Colostrum also produce several antibodies. Antibodies means it is useful for fight against the antigen. Normally during childhood, after parturition, the child is receiving various disease causing germs from the environment. In nowadays we know the germs, virus, bacteria, protozoans, fungal spores, various microorganisms, various pathogens are in the environment. It is the pathogen is easily affect our body system, immune system, or causing diseases. To avoid this, our immune system produce various antibodies. After enter into the antigen, our immune system producing some substances, particularly protein, it is antibody. Then antibody produced by the, normally in early child is not having a specialized immune system, not developed immune system. So that the mother milk contain antibody. From the mother to the child, the antibodies are entered, then gives immune power to the child. Okay, after maturity, after development, after 2-3 years, after 3 years, normally child producing the own antibodies and protecting against the diseases. But the initial few days after parturition, normally child get antibodies from the mother milk. Okay, after the lactation, the child get antibodies from the mother's milk. So only doctors normally insisting mother's milk is important for the developing child, for providing nutrients, for providing antibodies, for protecting against the diseases. So only worldwide breastfeeding or mother milk feeding is important for the child. Okay. So in this class we talked about parturition and lactation, and what is meant by gestation, and what is meant by fetal ejection reflex, and what is the use of oxytocin, and what is the use of colostrum where it is produced, and what is the use of pituitary and hormonal issues. Okay, then in coming week exams like board exams are taking place. Your chapters are human reproduction and health and diseases lesson, and I briefly explain what is meant by human reproduction and all the things you studied from your NCERT. I ask some questions from your NCERT book, and I give some explanation also. Human reproduce. Take your NCERT book, page number 55. Human reproduction lesson 55. Human reproduce asexually or sexually? Yes, sexually. And humans are oviparous or viviparous or ovoviviparous? Yes, humans are viviparous. Viviparous means what? Producing young one is known as viviparous. Producing egg is known as oviparous. Oviparous, egg and matured into the young one. Then humans are viviparous because human female are producing young ones. The next question, fertilization in human, internal or external? That is internal. You know the fertilization takes place inside the female body. Where exactly fertilization takes place? That is ambulary isthmic junction of the oviduct. So fertilization takes place inside the female, so that is internal. Male and female gametes are diploid or haploid? Haploid. Haploid means the human male gamete contain how many chromosomes? 23 chromosomes. Female gamete 23 chromosomes. So male gamete is 23, so it is haploid. The next question, zygote is diploid or haploid? Zygote is diploid because after fusion of male and female gamete only zygote is developed, so zygote is diploid. Then the process of releasing of ovum from the matured follicle, what is mean by that? That is ovulation. The matured ovum produced from the ovary, this is known as ovulation. Ovulation is induced by the hormone. What are all the hormones are present? Ovulation, LH and FSH. LH means luteinizing hormone, FSH means follicle stimulating hormone. Then the fusion of male and female gamete is fertilization. Normally we know. The fertilization takes place in where? The fertilization takes place in the oviduct, correct? But exact place of fertilization? Yes, it is ambulary isthmic junction. Ambulary isthmic junction only the exactly fertilization takes place. Then zygote divides to form a dash to implanted into the uterus. After development, zygote develop into embryo. In the form of embryo only get implanted into the uterine muscles. Then the structure which provides vascular connection between fetus and the uterus. Dash structure provide nutrients. Through the dash structure, the nutrients and waste materials are entered from mother to fetus and fetus to mother. That is umbilical cord. Through the umbilical cord only is. Next one, listen, 16th question, true or false? Androgen are produced by serotoli cells. True or false? Androgen are produced by serotoli cells. This is false. Androgen is produced by where? Leydig cells. Serotoli cells only provide some nutrient substances which is important for the development. Here androgen is produced by the serotoli cells is false. Androgen produced by the Leydig cells. Then spermatozoon get nutrition from serotoli cells. Correct. Spermatozoon get nutrition from the serotoli cells. True. Exactly, spermatid only get nutrition. After development, spermatid develop into spermatozoon. Okay. Then Leydig cells are found in the ovary. No, false. Leydig cells are found in the testis, which produce hormones androgen. Then oogenesis takes place in the corpus luteum. Corpus luteum only oogenesis? No. In the ovulation, Graafian follicle only oogenesis takes place, or in the ovary only oogenesis takes place. Corpus luteum is not correct, this is false. Menstrual cycle ceases during pregnancy. Yes, during pregnancy time, during 9 months, the menstrual cycle, menstruation is stops, ceases, stops. Yes, correct. Presence and absence of hymen is not a reliable indicator of virginity or sexual experience. Yes, true. Presence and absence of virginity is not a reliable indicator for a sexual experience. It is true. Okay. The remaining questions refer from your NCERT book and read the NCERT book. After studying, I give worksheets also. Finish your worksheets. In the next class, next week, test human reproduction and the human health and diseases, and study it for your test. And after finishing your test, you submit your notebooks also to the school office. And in next class, we will continue with the next lesson, reproductive health, chapter 4. Okay, thank you.